Welcome to another episode of the Focus Bee Show. Today I'm here with Lily Wong. Lily is an artist of life and a fantastic podcaster. Thank you so much for joining the show, Lily.
Hello, Katie. It's my honor to be here.
Wonderful. Can you tell us a bit more about your philosophy around being an artist of life?
Mm, Basically, I really want to be able to live more healthily and then to showcase my lifestyle to influence others to do the same thing. I think this year is really, I think for a lot of people, it's a wake up call. For me as well, I was actually running around like a headless chicken in the beginning of the year, and I was like totally lost. Then I just remember that I was actually living a great life. And then there's no reason for not this life cannot be the best year of our life. And recently I met up with another fellow podcaster, and then she saw me and she saw what I've been working on, and she just pointed at me and she says, Lily, you are an artist. You have the attitude of an artist. You're creating stuff, and then you love to just to live your life on your own term. And I said that, yeah, that's exactly me. Like I'm not really passionate about money, although money is good, don't get me wrong. I love money, the more the better. But for me, like the fire, the passion for life is really what I want to master and to be more creative in life as well.
Absolutely. I think it's a lovely way of putting it. I feel that I can see the artist in you, and it's beautiful to see what you're creating and how you're creating every day and in the way you function. I also know that recently you've changed some of your routines. Can you tell us a bit more about the sort of new practices you've put into place that have contributed to your lifestyle?
Yeah, I think Katie and I have a very special relationship actually. I was actually her podcast coach, and then she also was um, my life coach for about a year, because I was really struggling with how I put myself, how I have a routine to myself, how I am able to manage my time well. And she was helping me on that. And I was always like complaining and feel really struggled with my time and stuff. Um, but I feel like this year is definitely the year that I can really implement what she has told me, has taught me how to manage my life actually. And then I have able to pick up the things that I'm really like, and then to execute. So recently I started a lark lab, so up with the larks. My friend Greg actually gave me this name for my club. It was originally inspired by the book called The 5 a.m. Club. I just read it this year because I was like, well, nothing works this year. I feel so messy. I feel so panicking. And then I really want to do something to feel normal, feel better. So anything, if that can help me, I'm going to do it. So this book came into my mind, and I started to read it, and then I started to get up at 5 a.m. and then I started a webinar, like a live webinar. At first, it was just me, and no one is interactive with me. I just send out this link that I'm doing the live webinar, and then you can watch me, and then get out with me for at 5 a.m. So basically, what I did is I woke up at 4:45, and then I just started to implement those the very famous 20-20-20 formula. So I did 20 minutes exercise. I did the same yoga actually for 21 days, and then I started to do this 21 meditation challenge for another 20 minutes. starting at 5:20 or 5:30. It was not very really on schedule at that time when I first started. So it was like maybe 5:10 I started exercising for another 20 minutes, and then 5:30 I started to meditate and then sit down and listen to this guided meditation. And then at 5:50 I start to read this 5 a.m. club, and I put on this audiobook because yeah, I was just having this camera doing live webinar. It was like a Facebook live. So no one is really interacting, but I just I wanted to show that how I do it. And then also I want to be like, how you say that, like just be responsible, for that, so I'm doing that. I'm live. I want to do this, and I want to see how I my progress is actually I was documenting my journey. So for 21 days, but at the 21st day I was like, I really wanted to give up. So the 21st day, I actually gave up on that day when I finished that. So the 22nd day, I actually wrote down on my journal. I was like trying to review what I did for that 21 days. And I was saying that I was feeling dizzy all the time, jet lagged in the day a lot. It's just like, it was really difficult for me because my schedule was really just unstable. It was like up and down, up and down. I was waking up at 9 and 10 and 11 even. And then now I became this girl who was waking up at 4:45 and doing exercise, stuff like that. And there was a few times that I felt that I was actually spreading myself too thin. I was like actually pushing myself too hard, but I was like really want to implement that. So I guess like maybe about 45th day that I actually gave up doing it myself because I was on a few business trip. That time I was still feel that I was like a running around like a headless chicken, like it was like I couldn't do this, but I was sharing what I did in the past, and people like immediately they light up and they say that that's an amazing idea. So after those business trips, I found another place in my hometown, and then I started to think that I really, really want to do this. I would just want to start getting really serious about this. So I made an announcement to my group and said I really want to do this, but at this time I'm going to make it really serious, and I want people to get serious with me. So people had to pay membership fee to join this 5 a.m. club, so we can be accountable for each other. So far I have 17 members who also wake up with me at almost like 5:30, 5:45, and then we do exercise on time. 5 o'clock to 5:20, we exercise together. We do yoga, or sometimes we do cardio, or dance together. And on 5:20, we start this 21-day meditation. Actually, now we are getting to the middle of the second round, and then we are doing assignments every day. And then 5:40, I'm reading this 5 a.m. club to them as well. So at 6 o'clock, the group members will start to share how they did with the assignments the day before, and then start to share their growth. So every day is actually really positive experience for me because I can see these people grow. I can also see myself growing with them as well. Sometimes I discuss my doubts, my fear, my worries with them, and they were just really, really sweet. And then they were like trying to comfort me, and then I comfort them back as well. And then we are just encourage each other, to live our days the best.
That's amazing. You really use the power of accountability at a whole other level, getting people to get up so early and then you're all doing it together. And I love how you shared that the first time round, you didn't really have that many people that were there, but then you made it a membership fee and people had to pay, and then suddenly they were more accountable and they showed up. And that's really nice because it shows several things. It shows how we are more committed if we pay, which is always interesting, and the power of commitment and accountability, but also that you learned from the first round and you tried again, which is the whole life as an entrepreneur. And that's the whole thing behind failure is, yes, maybe it doesn't work out as well the first time, and maybe you were super tired and jet lagged after
Jet
20,
lagged.
21, 22 days. Well, it's, yeah, 4 or 5 hour difference compared to when you normally woke up. So it makes sense. So what changes have you seen now that you've been doing this? How long have you had this new practice in place with this group? And what changes have you seen in your life?
I think today we just had our 35th day. Yeah. And for me, it's been 100 days since I am doing this, waking up early and doing my challenges. And I feel like I'm more aware of myself, like because not only we do the meditation, we also have this exercise called gratitude journal, and also that we write down 3 things we want to implement today, we want to get done today. And I think that those exercises just really powerful because now we make ourselves accountable in a group, and then we are watching each other grow as well. You know, sometimes people might fall off the wagon and then not able to commit to wake up at 5, and then we were just like, yeah, you can do that, we need to see you tomorrow morning, and then just try to sleep early today. So I feel like all of them can they agree that we are more aware with our choices daily now, because now we control our time. And then I also introduce the Pomodoro clock with them. So yeah, some of them they start to work with the clocks, and then they find it really helpful. So they will share in a group, and more people they are influenced, and then they want to use that strategy as well. So I think it's overall it's just really, really positive. It's just like for a lot of them, they actually reported they never thought that waking up at 5 o'clock can be so positive and can be so impactful in their life. So they were actually surprised. So they are actually surprised right now. They still like saying that. And I do podcast with them every Sunday. So actually it's like a summary of their growth as well. So usually they just say really sweet stuff. They say that this is probably the best decision they made this year for me as well, because that's why that I want to got back to this routine, because I was just looking back my 2020, what did I do well? Almost nothing. I was just like panicking all the time and anxious all the time. But the only thing that I did very well was like waking up at 5, and then I actually stuck out for 21 days, and then that felt great. And then when I was sharing people, and people look at me like I was accomplishing something really awesome, you know, in that period of time. So yeah, overall it's just really positive, and I would really like to continue and getting more members. And what you said was also interesting, that I observed like people pay and then now they feel like more accountable because they invest money and then they want to really show up. But there are also like some people, they never show up in a Zoom meeting, so I don't know. Yeah.
That's interesting. I think maybe some were a bit overly enthusiastic at the beginning when they paid for the membership. It's also possible that depending on how much money it is for them, how much it feels to them, for some people, maybe it doesn't mean that much. I've also noticed that the commitment in terms of money is proportionate to how much money you have. You know, if it was a huge percentage of the money they owned, you can be sure that they would either cancel their membership or they'd show up. But if it's like insignificant, they might even forget. Just for those listening who don't know what the Pomodoro is a productivity technique where you spend 30 minutes generally focusing on one task. And the idea is to single task so that you don't lose all your energy by multitasking. That's the main principle behind Pomodoro, because Lily just shared this with us. So you feel from what you're saying that getting up at 5 and having this new routine in place has given you more awareness and has been one of the things you feel most successful about. You said this was one of your greatest like feeling of success. And what have you noticed in terms of how you manage your energy throughout the day when you start the day that way?
So I mentioned that I had jet lag. So it was really hard at first. But now it's just like I have to do this in order to get my day started right, because like the exercise in the first 20 minutes was really helpful to wake us up. So I do that and I immediately feel refreshed because I might be still yawning like before 5 o'clock. I was like waiting everybody to get on Zoom and I was like, I don't know. But immediately when I get moving, I get rid of that tiredness. And the meditation is also really helpful because it helped me to calm down my nerve, and then finally I have some time to listen to the guided meditation and then to learn about what real abundance is. Because what this year really affected me was like I have like huge decrease in my income. I'm not making as much as I do last year, but actually it is also good for me this year to really just focusing my inner peace, focusing inward, what's happening inside of me. Yeah, I remember when I had the most trouble with my time was actually I was doing great with my money and business, but now I don't have to work so much. So I went to shopping mall and the beach. That was just two of the things that I did when I first met Katie, right? Because I just felt that I lost the sense of purpose, but now I just feel like this is my purpose. I like to see myself grow. I like to see that I'm leading this group and then I see them grow. And then I feel like, yeah, this is my purpose in life. I finally just realized that it's still like sometimes can be a little bit difficult, especially when I get too excited. In the evening that I try not to, but I might be like sleeping a little bit later, like in the evening, and then just wake up only slept for maybe 5 hours, 4 hours, then I feel tired in the day. But it's also good that I'm in my own boss. It's good thing about entrepreneurship that I can probably take a nap in the day to make up that sleep, so I'm also like feel like I'm more just really abundant person. So that is really, really good thing that really come out of this year for me.
I love how you say you redefined the definition of abundant and realized it wasn't just linked to money. And in some ways, sometimes when you had that money, you didn't feel that abundant and you lost that sense of purpose. I think this is beautiful. Can you tell us a bit more what you feel now abundant actually means and how you feel that you're abundant? If because it's not measured by finance, can you tell us a bit more how you feel this abundance in your life?
Yeah, so I just shared that I would do this exercise, the gratitude journal, every day. So when we first started this exercise, I always remind my fellow members. I said that you can be grateful for anything, especially when you have nothing to be grateful for, just to appreciate that you have a bed, you have the air, have the house, have the roof under you, and have your car or have food, have your family around you. So for me right now that I really appreciate that I'm living here, like I have a place, and then I have a comfortable bed. I have a room that I can decorate myself. I have my own freedom. It's just really little things that I used to neglect. Now it becomes like really, just really that thing that I feel security, you know. And then I feel like one day I might not needing all these things, and I can still be happy. You know, I can still find that, oh, I can walk right now, I can see the scenery, you know, that I starting to just dig deeper, you know, like what's really small, but as I have it, but I used to neglect, but now I can become more appreciative of all these things, you know. And yeah, just I'm just really happy that I'm back in Taiwan. And then but I also noticed there's this energy of people are suffering, you know, so I'm also feel like I'm blessed, I'm able to be here alive, and then I want to be able to pray for those people as well, so I have that ability to send out blessings as well. So that is really good. And I also feel the abundance of my friendship, you know, like Katie were just like once in a while thinking of me and then just sending me messages. I would write it in my gratitude journal. Actually, I would be like, yeah, I have this really, really beautiful friend, and then she needs me, she wants to see me, and then she misses me. So I feel like really abundant, you know, like what else do I need in my life? I was like actually just thinking, yeah, I need friends and laughter, maybe just creative work as well, you know, like maybe some international travel in the future, but what else? You know, I have everything, you know.
Yes, I think gratitude is one of the best practices to help us realize what we already have and really fully appreciate it. Because, like you said, there might be little things that we don't think about or we take for granted. And when we pause and really think about it, we notice how much we already have. And in this book that I was reading, Think Like a Monk by Jay Shetty, I don't know if you've read it, it's really good, also a top podcaster. He explains that when he was practicing being a monk, he did that for several years, they were taught to be grateful about everything. Just like you said, even the air they breathed, or a bird that was passing by, or the color of the leaf, or things that we would never think about. And I think that's really beautiful to have it gratitude, not about something materialistic or financial. Relationships is beautiful and health is beautiful, but also even just nature and the
Nature.
air and the
Yes,
color of the sky. I mean, how often do we pause and think, I'm so grateful because the sky looks beautiful today? It's just things
exactly.
that we don't think about all the time and that are really important. Have you changed your evening routine as a consequence of getting up earlier? Has that also impacted the way you go to bed?
Yes, actually. So this year was really tough, that I felt really lonely in the beginning, just like because I also because I also realized, because I went to bed really late as well, like around 1 or 2. Sometimes I had sleepless nights as well. And um I'm single, and that for me, just like my mind will wander, and then thinking about the past and thinking about the uncertain future, just making me a little bit fearful. And then feel like I probably would never be in love again. That sort of things just like come to my mind. So actually the 5 a.m. club was a way that I felt that can help me to sleep early, you know, and then not to face lonely evenings by myself, you know. So I wouldn't be like just having so much time in the evening and just like wander around, or just looking at my cell phone, that I feel that is a waste of time. Yeah, so that was actually my motive, to want to sleep early, and then because get up early, and then I would naturally want to sleep early. And now it's just like I feel a lot better. I don't feel lonely, you know. I just feel like, wow, there's so many things I want to do actually in the evening. Although I'm alone, that I want to journal and just try to put away my devices, and then just focusing on real books, not Facebook, just real books, and then just journal my thoughts, and then just asking myself some deep questions. And naturally I feel tired before 9 o'clock actually. Yeah, so I would just like lie in my bed and just feel like, yeah, and listening to some music and sometimes it's meditation music, sometimes it's the hypnosis that my friend recorded for me, and just feel fall asleep that way. But every time I get up around 4:30, I jumped out on my bed and just get started my Zoom meeting and waiting everybody to exercise. So I think that's actually really, really good. Yeah, for my evening.
That's really
So
nice. It sounds like it has had such an impact on your life, both in terms of getting up in the morning, but also in terms of your peer group and the gratitude, and also how you manage your evenings and your energy during the work. And I love how resilient you were about this process, even though it was hard for you at the beginning. You still went back into it, and this time with the added benefit of accountability with friends and this peer group. Really beautiful.
thank you. Yeah, I really hope that there's also like some part of me I also noticed that I might need to work on, which is like about taking money from people doing this exercise. This is like something that I feel like I have unresolved feelings around money, because I was like thinking that I really would like to just broadcast this onto YouTube and just like make an announcement. Everybody just getting up at 5 with me, but I still feel like if I don't have money coming in, it couldn't be my, I would probably be lack of my motivation. So I'm just trying to accept that part, of myself, like yeah, but gradually my vision is like maybe one day some big company they would see this activity and then they sponsor this, and then maybe I can put on their name on my webinar and help them to just advertise, and then I can just really make it big and then make the world who are in the same time zone or in different time zone to just do exercise and meditate and read with me, like wake up with Lily. Yeah.
That sounds like a beautiful vision. And also, I feel that the money aspect, it's helping them to be committed also. So that's
Yeah.
something interesting to keep in mind. And nothing stops you in the future once you have a bigger group to then, like you said, have a sponsor or have different groups with one for free and one added benefits. And there's ways around it. But thank you so much for sharing this with us today, Lily. And thank you for sharing your journey around getting up at 5 and inspiring the listeners to maybe rethink about their life and what they can put in practice to have this energy and this awareness. Where can people find you, Lily?
They can find me on flywithlily.com, and yeah, and also my Facebook and IG is at Fly with Lily.
Amazing. Thank you so much for being on the show, Lily.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
See ya.